Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome into the space. It is February 10th, 2026. But again, remember, all videos are timeless. Again, you'll receive this in divine timing, in perfect divine orchestration. We're going to give a smudge to the tech, to you, beautiful souls, while we have this super conscious conversation, create this super conscious content together, co-creating, welcoming in the teams. Again, always for your highest and best good through divine light, divine love, divine truth, divine power, divine wisdom, divine knowledge, and divine remembrance. Do you remember who you are? Beautiful soul, do you remember? We've got the virtual river here with the fire and the sunrise and the mountains and the snow. We got the candles lit. Welcome in the elementals, earth, air, wind, fire, water, ether. Earth, air, wind, fire, water, ether. And yeah, we've got some quartz here, clear quartz crystal here, and some ammonite. This is my kiddo's ammonite. Candles, I've got a spider plant over here. Of course, all my plants here. Some watermelon. So, as I look up, it's 114 on the timer. Not sure what wants to come through today. I guess we'll start with ascension symptoms. Upgrades. Your physical avatar is going through some stuff right now, so honor that. Have some grace and patience with that. I've been struggling with left ovary discomfort. Just a little backstory. I am 49 and I had a complete hysterectomy in 2021. So everything, all my female endocrine organs were removed, unfortunately. My uterus, my cervix, and my right ovary. So what's going on right now is my left ovary, which is the only organ I have left, and and my fallopian tube. So everything gone. So from time to time, especially during this process of awakening in these ascension symptoms that we're feeling, it feels like I'm actually having a cycle. I actually have womb pain, and not to say I don't have a physical womb, but you have an energetic womb. Regardless if you're a man or a woman, you have an energetic womb in your field, in your body. Okay, it's energy. Everything's energy and frequency. So I know this happens when I'm going through massive upgrades, physical upgrades, because I've had this happen before, where it literally feels like I'm gonna have a cycle or I'm birthing in something. Like it's very uncomfortable in the womb space and in that ovary. Very sensitive again, like I was getting ready to have a cycle, or just very uncomfortable. So I was guided to mention that. Again, just honoring and having a lot of patience and grace with that, and using my crystals and my stones and my oils and my intention, and working with my guides and my angels to come in to help kind of relieve a little bit of the discomfort, because we're here to feel it all, right? All of it. But you can ask for help to ask for a little bit of relief with that discomfort. And I woke up feeling a little better this morning, a little less uncomfortable. It's still there, it's very noticeable. So that was mentioned to mention that. I've also had these really annoying, like I said, itchy bumps on my torso, from my neck to my waist, front and back. And I've had, again, these happen during massive upgrades, massive physical upgrades. It's that shedding process. Remember, we're shedding these final layers that are needing to be shed, personally, collectively, energetically, and generationally. Generationally for us, but as well collectively generations back. Okay, again, the head pressure, the common one, the runny nose, the dry eyes, the dry mouth. There's just it's everything, can be just about anything. So just again, have grace, patience, and ask for assistance if you need to ask for assistance from your guides. Okay, so I was guided to mention that. Okay, so I have had some discomfort in those areas, and again, the last time this happened where it was this prominent was when I went through a massive physical upgrade. And we forget that our human is upgrading, it's changing, and it's evolving from a third density nervous system to a fifth density nervous system, 5D, from 3D to 5D. And there's a whole lot in between there. But your nervous systems are getting upgraded, recalibrated, switched over. your physical avatar is being upgraded to be able to hold more light frequencies and codes, okay? So you are going to feel this at different levels and different intensities during your awakening process, aka ascension symptoms, and they can look many ways, shapes, and forms, and it comes and goes in waves. And with the planetary alignments and the cosmic convergences and the portals and the moon cycles and all of it, it's going to affect different people different ways. So one month it might be smooth sailing, you have minimum. The next month you might have all of the symptoms and feel like you've been knocked on your ass and exhaustion and all of it. Like I said, I've been really exhausted the last few days. I had a massive activation at the beginning of the month, for sure. And I've been integrating it ever since. So we forget that the integration is just important in the as the upgrades or the activations, which are the upgrades, the downloads, are just important as the integration. So it's just important to integrate it and ground it into the physical body. We have to ground these frequencies and energies into the physical body. And for a body that has never gone through an ascension process in the physical body, that can be uncomfortable at times. We have to remember, we signed up for this. We're here for this, 622 on the timer. We signed up for this. We signed up to be here, to be the bridges, to be the way showers, to be the anchors, the first wavers, the group sevens, whatever, to anchor this new light frequency here on planet Earth, as she as well is going through ascension symptoms. There's a plane flying overhead. So frequency, sorry. I'm just going to, I don't have anything right now. I'm just, so clapping can help. So if you have low flying planes, I've had these, I'm very conscious of this since this process started. I've had multiple low flying planes over my day, during the day, throughout my day, in different parts of town. All right. So I don't really pay any mind. I just do things to block the frequency and energy, and know that you're always protected. Just know that. If you know you've been frequency energetically attacked. Again, knowledge is power and awareness is power, okay? So breathe. And mount my throat chakra. All right. So have grace, have ease with yourself. Give yourself rest. This is your body's telling you need to rest and allow for the integration. And again, we've got 7 days until the year of the fire horse, beginning of the Chinese New Year of the fire horse, as well as this ring of fire solar eclipse and this new moon in Aquarius. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of planetary alignments, cosmic convergencies, as above, so below, as within, so without, as without, so within, all of this stuff, okay? So even though I forget, my human forgets, then I come back to, oh yeah, that's right, this is probably what's going on, is when I go through massive quantum leaps, quantum jumps, upgrades, whatever, I have more physical symptoms. Remember, going back to what I was saying, is we have decided, remember, this is the first time that the last time the Shinitidia that this took place, the attempt to ascend in the physical body, if I'm correct, is during the time of Atlantis. And again, there's many timelines that people have been tapping into, but they try to force the ascension to happen faster, okay, with technology, and they blew shit up. Yeah, fuck shit up. So anyways, so we're doing it again. This is what we're doing. We're trying to anchor it and bring in that golden timeline, okay? Tapping into the golden timeline of Atlantis from the past, okay? Where we ascend in our physical bodies versus ascending by transitioning, which means your physical avatar no longer ceases to breathe and your soul shoots out of it. Again, that's another way to ascend. But we are now anchoring in our souls more and more into our physical avatars because we are ascending in our physical bodies. So hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, that's fine. You're receiving the perfect dose of frequency and energy, flavor, essence, color that you are getting from my field, my energy, my frequency, and it's speaking directly to your soul, to your heart. And if you're still listening, you're definitely in resonance, and your soul is keeping you curious enough to stay here and to listen to this message, okay? So thank you for hanging out with me. All right, so I'm gonna take a look here and see from my journaling little bits Again, listening to Super Conscious Conversations podcasts last night. I highly recommend go listening to the one with it's Emilio Ortiz and JJ from Activations 1011 on the Timer, Activations with JJ. They had an amazing conversation, very super conscious conversation. And just going back to going and rewatching Everywhere all at once, all of the time. If I'm saying that correctly. I've watched it once, and I may have to rewatch it at this new version of my current self. But I mustered through it. It gives you a really good idea of what's happening. Everything is happening all at once, everywhere, all the time. All right, so it's important just to allow whatever information is coming through versus trying to logically figure it out with the ego mind, okay? Just a suggestion. Listen into resonance, and if you called to, that might help you understand a little more. It's not just linear. Things are not linear. That you've been programmed to believe so, okay? So your authentic expression is the resurrection. So this is a quote that came from somewhere yesterday that was guided to. Your authentic expression is the resurrection. There is no force in source. So again, live sourced, not forced. So this is the second person that I've heard in the past year say it in a different way. So there is no force in source, or live sourced, not forced. So you don't want to force it, okay? All right. Oh, I wanted to just kind of touch back on this journey because I was really guided to go back into my journal from last year. In the very first journal that I was gifted was on my birthday, October 14th, 2024. And I started just kind of randomly putting quotes down. And it's nothing like, I'm lucky if I can get a month out of a journal anymore. It depends on how much information is coming through from listening to channeled messages and informations and quotes and whatever I'm guided to write down and share and to keep. And it's a lot like automatic writing, because I'll write it and I have no clue like what I even wrote unless I go back and look at it. Okay. So I was really guided to write down kind of some key dates of this, how this kind of broke me open. Remember, you're not broken, you're breaking open. So the catalyst, again, getting the journal and slowly starting to intuitively listen to my nudges at the end of 2024 with the food transition, the nourishment. I talked a little bit about that yesterday, listening to my physical avatar and what she needs instead of telling her, with physical movement and nourishment with food, hydration, and all of this stuff. And then transitioning into January, where I became highly drawn to meditating. I was meditating in many ways, shapes, and forms in a still position outside of like walking and just being more conscious throughout my day, was up to 3 hours a day, like morning, afternoon, and night. Like I was just guided to, and and continue to unlock and unfold and awaken those dormant aspects of myself, okay? So meditation is super important in many ways. You should basically be in some form of a meditative present state all day long. That's like the end game. But again, finding the meditations, whether it's light language or it's a guided meditations or it's a meditation with breath, guided breath work or frequency, listening to different frequencies and different energies, whatever you're called to. Mine was, kind of a little bit of everything. And I didn't force it. It was a very guided call, okay? All right. So let me take a look here. So some things I pulled in from last year's journal. Last year's journal went from like, I think October to March. So just give you an idea. And then by March, after things just like literally started unlocking and flooding open with the third eye and all of it, I'm lucky, like I said, if I get a month out of a journal at this point, okay? Just to give you an idea, the transformation from this time last year up until now. And it's gone like this. Like it's like a blink of the eye. And literally that's how it is in the higher dimensions. When you're in the quantum field, it's like that, okay? All right. So, let's see here. So just another gentle reminder that your personal and individual transformation is serving the collective at this point, whether you realize it or feel it or not, okay? Your personal liberation contributes to the liberation of all, the freedom of all, okay? And remember, reality is your playground. It is time to create and to play and to get paid by source, living authentically, playing and creating as you choose to, okay? From the state of an inner child-like mind, okay? Remember, we are infinite, we are one, we are eternal, we are healed, and we are the jewel of the universe, okay? Breathe. You can repeat or write this down. I fully step into my fierceness, feral, free, authentic self. So I pulled this from last year's journal and I kind of restructured it for present moment. I fully step into my fierceness, my feral, free, authentic self. All right. I have become those parts of me I have hidden. Or you can change it, I am becoming those parts of me that I've hidden. But I have become, for me personally, I have become those parts of me that have been hidden. I've integrated my shadow. I've done the work. Continuously, but I have done the heavy lifting, the sources. I've done the heavy lifting, okay? I feed my soul love. I slayed and integrated my shadows. I am no longer afraid of the dark. I've been training in the dark, beautiful souls. That's been my life, as I've trained blindfolded pretty much and continue to train in the dark, okay? I am no longer afraid of the dark. The dark and me are besties, okay? I dance with it, and I have turned my pain into my power and into my wisdom, okay? I see, I have faced, and I shine bright. Okay, so if you feel called to, I highly recommend pausing, replaying, journaling, whatever you feel inspired and excited and ignited about those words, that frequency and energy that I'm sharing with you right here, right now. Okay, and my incense is smoking me out. All right, and make this choice. I choose to see the illusions. 1, 2, 3, 4 is significant. 1, 2, 3 is also significant. 14, 17, and 16, and 12. Those are your confirmations. Those are your key codes. I choose to see with clarity and love. Okay? I choose to unblock and release old traumas, ancestral, mind, and generational. So let's repeat that again, please, together. I choose to unblock. I choose to release old traumas, ancestral traumas, my traumas, and generational traumas. I choose that now, and so it is said, and so it is done. Everything is a choice. In speaking that choice, thinking it's good, writing it's good, but the speaking of that through your sacred technology of your throat chakra, is very powerful, because it's speaking that frequency and energy into the field, which ripples out like little waves in an ocean. Okay, we know like that. Like if there's a drop in the ocean, it ripples out. So that's why speaking it and affirming it, embodying it, and speaking it with authority and conviction, thank you, Source, is so, so important right now. Okay? Let me take another watermelon. All right, so these are just some points that stuck out with my journal, because I did journal everything from like my first Reiki session, the intuitive massages I had along the way, all of it. There might be some missing pieces in there, but this is like the gist of it. So, like I said, first journal, October 14th, 2024, my birthday, October 14th, okay? So 10/14 is significant. My first Reiki session was February 27th, 2025. I also noted that there was a new moon at that time. Awakening. I noted awakening, okay? So a lot unfolded very rapidly. Definitely when I started meditating in the beginning of January and having had changed my nutrition, but when February, March, April, May, all of that hit, holy hell, it just like unraveled like that domino, like you set up that domino, and it was just unraveling. In so much messy, magical ways possible. So beautiful, all right, in that process. I didn't think that in the moment, as we usually do when it's uncomfortable, going through the transformation, the transition. going through those phases of like, what the fuck, all of it. My first Reiki session was the 27th, which was a new moon on the 25th. Me and my partner, significant partner, he and I participated in a small group cacao ceremony focusing on the heart chakra, because cacao is very connected to the heart chakra. I'm also wearing rose quartz, which is very helpful for the heart chakra. So I've got rose quartz, I've got labradorite, amethyst, moonstone, sunstone, and fluorite. And then this is hematite for grounding. All right. So during that cacao ceremony is when we were first introduced to the Ho'oponopono, okay, the Hawaiian forgiving prayer, meditation, whatever word you want to put to it. It was very healing, okay? During the ceremony, during the meditation part, my inner child showed up fiercely and said, it's time. So a lot of inner child stuff that needed to be healed. This was her beginning process of this through the awakening journey of last year. And I still have stuff come up. I had stuff come up a month ago that needed to be addressed. Okay. But definitely a lot of inner child work. Again, so important to work with that and to do the work. Okay. So that was, so like I said, the first Reiki session was the 27th. The cacao ceremony was on the 8th. You can do the math. We did the Ho'oponopono. My first Reiki share, which we have Reiki share tonight, which is a group, you know, where we all practitioners or non-practitioners get together and share a frequency and energy of light and love, compassion, and just sharing those source energies, okay? Working with our guides and our angels and all of that. My first Reiki share class, so I had my first Reiki session on the 27th. My first Reiki share class was that following month, was the 11th of March. I had my first intuitive massage on the 22nd of March, which also happened to be very close to the solar eclipse. So it had the massage in the window of the solar eclipse in March. Again, I don't remember this until, if I didn't note this, I wouldn't know this, okay? Unless I really dug deep and went there, okay? So the solar eclipse in March was the 29th, so eclipse season, okay? So I was guided to do a fruit fast. So I had gone through a wave of fruit fasting. Like I said, okay, we're going to do 1 day of fruit. I was guided to do 1 day, and 1 day led into 2 days or 3 days. And then I would take a break. And then there was at one point somewhere at the end of February and March, or in April or something like that, I ended up doing 7 days. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do 1 day, and it ended up being 7 days. Guided, and this was guided intuitively. This was not forced fasting. All right, this was just consuming nothing but fruit. And it was mono meal, so I would have just like a watermelon meal, or a banana meal, or oranges, or mostly mono type fruit fasting. If you're familiar with fruit fasting, you'll be aware of that. But again, I don't recommend it unless you're guided to. It's helpful. And fruit is very high vibrational. And if you're going through, it's really good to cleanse and purify the system, because it gives you all the vitamins and minerals, the fiber, the cleansing, but it also vibrates high. It's got those natural sugars. So it's a really good tool to use when you're fasting, when you're removing certain things, you know, and fasting can look many ways. Okay. So I was very guided to do that in mid-April. Okay. Then we had Reiki share in April. I also had signed up to get certified as a Holy Fire Reiki practitioner in May. So see how this is slowly unfolding? So I had an emergency Reiki, so I had Reiki share, I had the second Reiki share, I had an emergency Reiki session on the 17th, which the first one removed a entity that had been attached to me since I was a child. No surprise, if you know the history. A lot of abuse, trauma, all of it, very easy to get attachments. That's fine. That's part of the lessons. That's part of the training. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as, oh shit, fuck, you know, I don't do that, because I don't give it any energy. It's just what it is. It's what I signed up for. Okay, it's part of the journey. It's part of the training. And some of us train in the dark, and we're going through boot camp after boot camp after boot camp in the dark, getting our PhD. All right. So I had this emergency Reiki session on the 17th. Other things unfolded. On the 12th, so before that, on the 17th, there was a full pink moon, super moon, on the 12th, and me and my partner participated in a epic sound bowl, crystal sound bowl bath experience. And then the 17th, I had the Reiki session. The 3rd of May is when I got my Holy Fire Reiki certification that weekend. All right, I'm also noted here, we're kind of going back and forth, but if you're paying, you know, you'll catch it. The spring equinox was on the 20th. I noted that I had a powerful light language meditation that same night, and I didn't remember this. I knew my third eye had opened in the way it is. Again, I have aphantasia, so I have what's called a blind third eye, but that's, you can go look at that. Don't see anything. There, I don't get visuals, I don't get colors, I get nothing. But that doesn't mean my third eye can't still open. The rose-colored glasses still came off. So, before the stuff that took place in April and May, the spring equinox, I noted I had a powerful light language meditation. I didn't know which one it was. I just noted it was a powerful one. Sometime between the 20th and 21st, I had a third eye awakening activation. Right? I literally could see the third eye, which looks like to me like a solar eclipse, or an eclipse is what a third eye awakening, or if you can see the third eye, that's what I see. And I physically could see the colors at that time when this happened. All right. Also had some yin yoga around that, went to a class with my partner. And there was a note that he received a dream. Again, around the spring equinox, very powerful with these eclipses and equinoxes. Please pay your attention and do your journaling and due diligence, whether it's your phone or, because when you can go back and you can pinpoint the process of the alignment of what you're going through with the cosmos, it's incredible. So we participated in a yin yoga, and that night or that morning, sometime he woke up to physically hearing an alarm that wasn't on. So it's, again, it was wake up. It was like that. What I noted was he heard an alarm that wasn't set. So it was that alarm. And if you hear an alarm or a siren, it's like that wake up call. It's that wake up call. And then there's things that unfolded in April and in May when I went through a massive upgrade in the throat chakra and the heart chakra. Because I had an upper and lower respiratory. It was like basically all my upper chakras got an upgrade. Major detox, lower upper respiratory issues, symptoms, all of it. Had a hard time breathing. I couldn't hardly meditate. I couldn't hardly eat. There was a massive upgrade going from my upper chakras that were taking place. And very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. All right. But guess what? I survived. So will you. Okay. So you might be going through that now, because a lot of people are going through stuff right now. And I'm guided to also talk about what's been brought aware to me. I've been feeling a lot of pressure in my heart space, because not only feel my stuff, I feel my partner's stuff, and I feel collective energy. And again, I don't pay attention to the news. I don't, unless it rolls up in the feed. And if there's people in my YouTube or my Instagram or Facebook that are making comments about what has been released or has happened, I'll be like, all right, that's just for the collective to, again, wake the fuck up, to pay attention, to get them going. Okay, there's a reason why that's happening and things are unfolding. So I felt, before I heard information that was released, and I'm not going to go into details of what that is, because I'm not giving it any power, energy, or conspiracy bullshit, because that can be, most conspiracies, if not all, are true. But again, if you go down the rabbit hole of that, it's still a way for the program to siphon your energy. Okay, get you caught up and wrapped up in that. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Okay, be mindful. Discernment, high perspective, non-reactive, all of this stuff. Okay, I could feel it in my heart space, but then I also got information from my significant partner that he was feeling a lot of pressure in the chest and the lungs. Again, these are upgrades. Okay, or you're feeling, for him, I know he's getting upgraded for sure. He's going through a massive upgrade, whether he realizes not or will acknowledge that. That's not the point. I know what's happening. His ego mind's trying to convince him otherwise. So I just gently hold space, share when I meant to share, translate when I meant to translate. I also found out that there's other people in his family, and I had mentioned to him with a little resistance, but I still mentioned it, that usually when you're having, so this, I'm very called, so quartz is very helpful. The rose quartz is going to be helpful. Any green stones, malachite, things for the heart chakra is going to be very helpful. If you're having a lot of pressure, again, you might be feeling collective stuff, but that also might be a sign that you need to go a little deeper into the heart chakra, do some heart chakra language, light language, which I'll be doing here probably today to help. But you've got trapped emotions in that space. You have trapped emotions, worry. The biggest one is grief. The biggest thing when it comes to the heart space is you've got trapped grief, sadness, anger, and or stress that you have refused to address. And more than likely, this has something to do with childhood or young adulthood that you have suppressed, bypassed, buried, distracted from, whatever. And it's coming up now. And it's feeling like pressure, anxiety, worry, panicky type attacks. And if you're unfamiliar with that, you're going to freak the fuck out. You more than likely use your discernment. If you go to the physician, you're going to not have anything wrong with you because you're going through something that cannot be medically diagnosed or cannot medically. Does this make sense? Somebody needs to hear this. All right. Somebody needs to hear this. And so I made the comment to him because he was having this pressure. I said, I'm just getting through resistance. I'm going to say it though. Take what resonates. I said, you need to address his father passed away at a young age while he was young. Okay. It's been a long time ago. I said, but did you address that? And is that coming up to be looked at and to be released and to be felt and to be let go? Okay. So again, no coincidence them talking about this. Again, there's why we share our stories is because it's going to be in resonance because you think you're the only one and you're not. So he lost his father at a very young age and his father was very young. Okay. And now I was just given information that his brothers are also having other types of heart symptoms. And I said again yesterday, I said in a gentle, kind way that there is emotion that's being stirred up because like I've said in past videos, if you continue to bypass, to distract and bury and all of the stuff, your physical body is going to keep giving you signs, symptoms, and information, and it's going to make it really fucking uncomfortable. So you need to address the energetic aspect of it. You need to address the hurt, the pain, the trauma, the sadness, the anger, the grief. You need to address it. Your body is telling you, we have stored grief. We have stored sadness and anger and stress, whatever it is. Your body is telling you physically that it's time to let that go. And there's many ways you can do that. Meditation, breath work, intention, introspection, inner child work. There's many ways, frequencies, energy to work with the heart chakra, light languages. You can work with the crystals and stones. So this is beyond the medical aspect of it. It's starting to the human is being called to tap into because you are frequency and energy. You are being guided to tap into deeper than what the medical diagnosis or the medical world is trying to box you into. This is energetic work. So you need to do the work energetically to move these emotions that have been stuck in your physical avatar for 20, 30, 40, 50 years or more. It's time to move them out. It's never too late. It doesn't matter what age you're at. You can do this work at any age. Okay? It's a choice. Or you're going to get really uncomfortable and shit's really going to hit the fan. Okay? And I say this with all the love and compassion. Okay? Source is coming through it's like that firm, wishing at the words, please, Source. It's that, it came through the other day. It's coming through with love and compassion, not in a harsh way or a mean way, but a tough love. Thank you, Source. It's coming with tough love. I love you. And I don't want to see people suffer. And if all it's going to take is for you to do a little bit of work, energetic work, for this to resolve, there are many tools and many avenues that are available to you right now. And you just have to find what is your tool, whether it's Reiki, whether it's an intuitive massage, whether it's, again, breath work, meditation. All right. Listening to frequencies, sound bed therapy, sound bowl therapy, whatever. You can eat foods that also help support. Okay. Third, tools. And remember, You have all the power to do this work. You have all the power to heal yourself. And you've been so programmed and conditioned to take the pill, to do this, to do that, when you have all the power. And facilitators like Reiki practitioners or intuitive massage therapists or somatic therapists or somatic masseuses, we are just tools working with source energy to help you and remind you through frequency and energy that you have the ability to do this yourself. You have the ability to do this yourself, beautiful soul. You have to choose that. Okay, you have to choose that. So if you're doing all this stuff and you're not getting a diagnosis or anything, cool, that's fine. But if you're still experiencing symptoms, we need to go a little deeper. We need to go to the root cause. It is time for the collective to get to the fucking root cause and quit bypassing, to quit distracting, to quit burying, to quit doing all the things and start doing the work. To start choosing to feel those feelings and those emotions in each now present moment as they continue to surface up. As that debris is getting stirred up at the bottom of the lake or the riverbed, where the water gets really mucky and muddy. You got to bring it up. You got to let it, and then when it comes up, you can let it flow out. However that's going to flow out. Crying, screaming, dancing, drawing, journaling, whatever. It needs to be moved. The energy needs to move. Energy in motion is your emotions. Okay? So this message is very strong for somebody or somebodies. And I've always sent the intention that it reaches those that need it the most right here, right now. And again, you could be reaching it next year. You could be reaching it in a week or two. But it is always my intention that you are going to reach this in perfect timing. When you are ready to receive this message. My human words, as well as my healing frequency and energy. Okay, my specific flavor, essence, and color. Okay? And yes, you can receive that through technology. That's why I suggest to always work with the sacred algorithm of technology. Again, it can be used both ways, right? It can be used both ways. Okay? Empower yourself. Take your power back. I call my power back from people, places, and things, timelines, dimensions, spaces, and portals and realms, known and unknown, seen and unseen. I pull up all of those subconscious things that have been buried, that are seen and unseen, known and unknown, okay? Allow yourself to feel, to grieve. All of the old selves, all of the old versions, all of it. Allow yourself to do that, okay? In doing so, that can help you rapidly rewire your brain, reprogram. Okay? So let's breathe. Inhale, because that was a lot. Exhale. That was a big transmission. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so I'm going to do a separate one, but Source wants me to do, the team wants me to do just a little bit of light language here. So if you were here at the end of the video, please just sit back and allow and receive whatever you're meant to receive, to help loosen up those stuck and trapped emotions in the heart space and the lungs, trapped grief, sadness, anger, and it'll help you just release that, okay, with a little more ease and grace, okay? So feel your feels, see what you see, surrender and let it go. Choose to, okay? So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Oceana retata oceana tira tata retata ishana yata oceana retata inata oceana tira tia no turro tata yashana yata oceana ti why nati yana tu ashana tiria breathe. Surrender and let it go. You're safe. To let it go. Thank you, beautiful souls. That is your message today. That is your super conscious conversation for today. Again, this is Freak Speak, day 90 of 111 days of sharing my real raw frequency, energy, flavor, essence, and color with you, beautiful souls. And again, we've got this. We've got this. We've already done the big stuff. Now we're just doing those final stages of that clearing so we can continue to rebuild and anchor in even more deeply into these frequencies and these energies, okay? You're not doing it alone. I'm not doing it alone. We're doing it together. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.